8.2 notes, graphs of the other trigonometric functions, page 5. So I've got one example at the top. We are going to go backwards, and we want to be able to take a graph and identify the function. Okay. So first things first, let's go with the easy part. Between the two asymptotes, we can figure out how long the period is. And so we're going from -4 to 4. So I've got a period of 8. Keep in mind that our period was pi over b, which means that if 8 is pi over b, we can solve for b. And b is pi over 8. So here's our equation. I'm using a tangent bx because this is centered at 0. So even if, as in the last example where we shifted a full period, I'm still going to have an instance of this graph centered at 0. So I don't need to worry about a shift at all. Also, we're at 0, 0, so I do not have a vertical shift. So I'm only working with trying to find a and b. And we've already found b. So y equals a tangent, our b is pi over 8 times x. And so now we need to find the a. We've got this centered at 0, 0, 4 to each asymptote, so halfway there is 2. Up, we're kind of looking for where 2 is hitting, what our y is when x equals 2. That should give us the a, because it's not at 1, which is what we would expect for that point. It's 2. So we know that our a, our multiplier, is 2. So we end up with 2 tangent pi over 8 times x, and that is it. Okay, so before we move on here to the bottom part, we are going to start talking about graphing secant and cosecant. Just the reminder here and how to use the calculator. Please remember that your calculator should be set to radians, especially as we're graphing. We typically don't mark that x-axis in terms of degrees. It's going to be in terms of radians. So I'm going to start with the right-hand side here and then go back and fill in the numbers here. Secant is 1 over cosine. So secant of 0.42, I'm going to plug into the calculator as 1 over cosine of 0.42. When we do that, we get 1.0952. Notice here it asks us to carry this to 4 decimal places. Please pay attention to those requests. There are some times that rounding too soon will create an answer that's way off. B, secant of 2.94. So I've got 1 over the cosine of 2.94. And we get negative 1.0207. Last one is cosecant of 3.66. So I've got 1 over the sine of 3.66. And we get negative 2.0182. And that is it for page 5.